Take It Outside is brought to you by Wood County Park District. Choose your own adventure.
So today, I'm here with the one and only fly fishingist, beer drinkingist, country music lovingest man that I know, Mr. Bradley Dunkel. So we got some pictures around here catching some big fish, so we know you're a pro. But you came back to Toledo, and now you opened up the sweet shop, let everybody in Toledo, experience fly fishing, not something that many people around here are used to. So what does Wildwood Anglers offer?
What don't we offer is the better question. So within a 2.5, 3 hour radius of Toledo, and I know most people don't think fly fishing when they think of Toledo. Within a 3 hour radius, 2.5 hour radius, you have trophy opportunities for about 7 species: salmon, coho, and kings, steelhead, trout, smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, pike, muskie, you name it, we got it.
That sounds sweet. So I know you have a sweet history guiding fly fishing out west. You got any sweet stories about guiding? Appropriate?
Too many sweet guide stories. The biggest one that comes to mind is a bachelor party. But we'll leave that one out. I definitely had a guy who went into cardiac arrest on me. Not my fault, but ended up saving his life. So that was probably the most, memorable for sure.
Whether you're looking for more fly fishing tales or if you're trying to find the most legit fly fishing and outdoors gear in town, then you need to head down to Wildwood Anglers right on Main Street in Sylvania, Ohio. They even have some great American literature on their shelves.
That's Lewis and Clark. The story of Lewis and Clark. It's a great book. Everyone should read it.
After leaving for 12 years, guiding trips in Colorado, Wyoming, I came back and had kind of a newfound appreciation for it because I didn't really have a whole lot else to do when I moved back. So got to rediscover some local waterways. The Maumee kind of blew my mind with, the diversity of runs from Lake Erie. There's a pike run, a walleye run, white bass run, lake run smallmouth. You have a ton of opportunities. And in any given trip that we take out, you have an opportunity to catch about 7 or 8 species on a single fly in a single run. So
that's pretty sick.
Yep.
Now, as we just heard, fly fishing is a great way to take your skills to the next level. Let's learn some more about the sport.
You being the fly fishing expert of Northwest Ohio, can you explain to everyone what's the difference between fly fishing and conventional fishing?
There's a couple differences. Number one would be the way that you toss your lure, or in this case, a fly. When you're conventional fishing, whether it's a spinning rod with a reel, bait casting rod and reel, you're using a weighted lure to load up your rod to toss it. Whereas with fly fishing, if you were to have a weightless fly, such as this, which is a hex pattern, if you were to hang that with a conventional rig and try to cast it, it'd go about all of 3 feet. With a fly rod, the weight of this fly line, which is the colored stuff here, is what allows you to transfer energy and cast your rod forward, with loading of the rod being the weight of the line rather than the weight of the lure.
So basically the major difference is on a conventional fishing, the lure is doing all the work, and fly fishing, the line itself is doing all the work.
In addition to that, besides the line, that's the most obvious thing, is with a fly reel, which is what we have right here. If you're using a conventional rig, whether it's a bait cast, a spinning reel, what are those called? The
didgeridoo.
Now, what are those called? The stupid push buttons. Not bait cast.
Yeah.
What are those? Is it a push button? Yeah. All right. So if you have, the difference between a fly reel and a bait cast reel, a spinning reel, or a push button reel like a Seg2, if you have a fish on and you're fighting it, you can just turn that reel knob and it'll keep spitting out line accordingly for that fish. Whereas a fly reel, why don't you grab this line for me? Now pull on it. If I grab my reel knob, there's no anti-reverse drag. So the anti-reverse drag just allows line to be spat out accordingly to what your drag set. Whereas a fly reel, you don't have such luck. You've got to be on top of whether the fish is running on you, let go of your reel knob. If it's coming towards you, start picking up line.
So it's a lot more technical.
For sure,
So
for sure.
that's, to me, that's an attraction.
I agree.
That's sweet.
It's kind of
it's a new skill.
refined.
Yeah,
in a way.
refined. Heck yeah, that was awesome. Thanks, Brad. I think I
betcha.
need to get me a fly rod. You get discounts?
We do for you.
Let me tell you, it's great to see someone like Brad bringing how awesome of an area we live in for sport and recreational fishing to the forefront.
I don't know a whole lot of fly fishermen that start just fly fishing. I think there's a progression involved, and many of us, probably 95% of us, started with the conventional rigs, spinning rods, push button rigs, bait casters, and then kind of progressed to fly fishing. It's not to say that if you haven't, conventionally fished, that you can't go out and learn fly fishing. You absolutely can. You just need a rod and reel in your hand and, put yourself in the right situations and get outside, so.
Well, everyone knows where they need to go if they want to learn that.
Betcha.
All right, man. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, I want you to do me all a favor and get down to Wildwood Anglers and make Toledo a fly fishing hotspot.